The thoughts, views, and comments expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production of Glory 93.9 FM.
Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women. Wardrobe provided by Bahari Bahamas. Visit shopbahari.com.
Morning to you all. Welcome to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift. Let me make sure my necklace is straight. On Glory 93.9 FM, I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. You know, I got to make sure Chevette Williams and Julie look right. Thank you so much for tuning in today on this TGIF Friday. Okay. When we do an open line show, hear from you everything that you want to talk about today as we look at the week that was here in the beautiful Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That's straight? It's straight now, right? Yeah, okay, it's straight. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Welcome to GPS. You know, we always have fun on a Friday because this is a day that we do an open line show. And we allow you to just, you know, let it all hang out, talk about what you want to talk about. The week that was, the stories that made the headlines, whether at home or abroad, or a combination of both, which is what we saw happen this week. Just in case you missed it, in case you live under a rock somewhere, our competent authority said that there are actually two pandemics. He came with some, you know, breaking news. What only him one seemed to know. That we got two pandemics going on. So yeah, I could just go straight to that clip and let the competent authority explain this himself about the fact that we have two pandemics going on now. Let me see if I can get this to. I am trying to.
Pandemic is finished.
To the screen. Let's see. Just bear with me, y'all. I'm trying to play this video myself from my laptop. Not sure why it's not playing. You know what? On my end, my laptop is freezing. And so I can't really see what you are seeing. Let me try this again. It's freezing. So let's see. No, this is frozen. Like frozen solid. You can see it from, you can see the video from in there where you are, right? Can you play it from in there? Can you get it to play on your end? No? Because on my end, everything is just frozen. And I am not sure what I need to do to get it to unfreeze. Okay, so while we're trying to work this out, our competent authority said this week that there are 2 pandemics going on now. And really, the only people that are still in a pandemic are the unvaccinated. Okay, I think it's coming up now. Let me add it to the stream again and see if I can get it to play this time. Still not playing on my end. It's frozen again. Okay, it's coming up. Okay, while we're waiting for the video to come up, we have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good morning, Michelle. How you doing?
Great, how are you?
I'm good. I've been calling in a while, but I see you're having a bit of difficulty playing the video. But everybody has seen the video already, saying that the pandemic is over for the vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody who's unvaccinated, there's a pandemic. We're still in a pandemic.
According
And what I find so interesting about that statement is the fact that, even if I'm fully vaccinated, where am I going to go after curfew? What is there to do? Everything shut down after a particular time anyway. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
And, I also noticed he tried to pull a fast one and then retract it.
I am really, really,
so-
really hoping I can get this video to play, because what I want to do is I want to play his soundbite, his with him saying it, and then I want to play some videos which show you where he get the foolishness from, and the fact that
Right.
he didn't just repeat what was said, but he decided to take it a step further
Mhm.
by saying that the pandemic is over for
Right.
those who are vaccinated, which everybody
Exactly.
with half a brain knows is not true.
Exactly. No.
And this, what amazes me about this whole situation is they want you to trust what they are saying to you. But yet this man is going to get up and say this stupidity. I even ain't trying to be diplomatic with this now.
No, man.
He going to get up and say this absolute ludicrous lie and expect people to respect and trust what they say. Like, you really think we got mashed potato between our ears? Like, we ain't got no brains.
When he comes on, Michelle, I feel like watching Dora the Explorer or Sesame Street.
I mean, this is
I
serious.
mean, you can't put a label on this man, And people are defending him. I mean, oh my!
Well,
look
you know
here.
how that go. You know how that go. We a very tribalistic society now. So he could get up and say the sky pink, and
Yeah.
honest people will be defending that. Oh yes, it's pink
That's
because he said pink. It's pink.
Yeah,
We just gotta stop in the foolishness, man. My
I,
God.
I know we some of us are uneducated, but I mean, this goes beyond, man. I mean, this is just crazy, man. I start to second guess my own intellect.
No, I ain't second guessing mine. My mind send me to school for lunch. Okay? You can second guess yours.
But that's,
I second guessing mine.
It makes me laugh too. That he had a man he almost out. He just need one more strike. Well, no, that ship said.
No. That ship,
speaking of
yeah,
ships.
because we done had about 10, 15 by now.
Speaking of ships, this cruise situation, man.
for God's
Man.
Listen. Like the little boy say, listen, Linda, listen. Listen, Linda, listen.
I mean,
You can't get vaccines in the country. You gotta be born from all over the Caribbean. You could lend me some vaccine, please. I could pay you back. But
man.
you could get a cruise ship, or you try to get a cruise ship
Mm-hmm.
to pile up a bunch of unvaccinated people who's still in the pandemic, according to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you creating a hotspot
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
realized I got to do this because these people ain't on my run. So maybe if I throw in a cruise.
Yeah.
So
I got to shoot him a cruise. I
yeah,
got to
so
do
let's throw
something,
in this
man.
cruise, and we gonna put all y'all unvaccinated, still in pandemic people in one little spot, right? And sail for a couple hours from here to Miami. So what if you get the COVID? Who cares? You going for the vaccine and you can be out the pandemic once they stick that thing in your arm. So you good.
Exactly.
Man, look, you can't make this up.
You cannot.
This
This 90 times.
I feel like
This 90 times 4. This 90 times 4.
I age myself, right? But you remember Def Comedy Jam way back in the day? I feel like I watched
I
Def
remember.
Comedy Jam.
I swear. I swear. I used to kiss that comedy job myself. But,
what a
Mark,
sick it.
Mark was the host.
This got to be a comedy.
You brought it up because I was going to talk about the DNA situation, but man, this takes precedence out of. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hang up and I'm going to allow other callers to call in and say what they have to say with that. Because
if you a praying man, pray for this nation, yeah. Because these people take us for. They say count don't get beat by us. The count don't take this much beating. These people take me stupid. And I really, Lord, in the name of Jesus, let this video work, because I am just like, really? Like, you really think we that stupid? Bad enough, you calling yourself the competent authority and letting that incompetent statement come out your mouth.
Man, oh man, oh
Why
man.
These people
oh,
jokey bad. They jokey bad.
There's only two. I can leave with this note. There's only two really dense statements made by two political leaders. One of them was lately by Menace, with that garbage he spewed out, like you mentioned. I won't go because I want you to work on playing this video. The second one was Bray Davis with the whistle. When it would happen with the women who were rape victims, so I was about to get ready.
I wonder
those two go to baby the street.
I wonder if they have like the ability to think before they let it come out their mouth. Just edit it in your brain before you let it come out your mouth. Because if they just pause, just a little pause, right? I really think if they really thought about what they were about to let come out of their mouth before it came out, they wouldn't be suffering so much from this foot and mouth disease.
Now you wonder why the education system is so low. Our leaders seem to be brainless.
Boy, look here. I never seen nothing like this in my life. We can take one break because these videos got to play. In the name of Jesus, these got to play today.
Yeah. Please work at that for
let me take this break. And then, although if I take the break and I play it, it might start to play over the commercial break, and we can't have that happening. So I don't know.
Whatever's clever.
Let me try one more time. But thank you so much for calling.
No problem, Michelle.
Okay. All right, let me see if I can get this video to play. I see it up on the screen. So now it's up on the screen. So now all we got to do is get it to play. But let me see. I'm pressing the play button, but it still ain't playing. You can see me pressing the play button. Yeah? But it's still not playing. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. And then we can try to figure this out. And then on the other side of this break, hopefully this will be sorted and we'll be able to play these clips for you. So stay with us. This is GPS. We will be back after these words from our sponsors. Stay with us.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Alive. Alive. Believe in best. And by Tropical Gyros. Not just good food, it's an experience.
Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. Pleasure to be in your company. Today is an open line show, TGIF. It's an opportunity for you to get off your chest whatever is on your mind. So we would love to hear from you. Our telephone line to call is 828-3543. 828-3543 is the number to call. 828-2543. 828-2543 is the text line, and we would love to hear from you to talk about the week that was. My laptop is still giving me issues this morning. It's freezing up on my end, even though my producer and his laptop can actually see what you're saying now. On my end, it's still frozen from the last attempt to play that video. So we are going to have to just talk until we can get this sorted out so that we can actually play all of the clips for you. And I do apologize for these technical difficulties today. This is just the devil, you know. This is the devil trying to stop us from revealing the truth to you. Because, you know, my slogan for this show is the truth has a new home. And that home being Glory 93.9 FM, where we have the freedom to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. And the truth is, our competent authority sometimes acts very incompetently. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes. And, here I am again, Michelle. Until you can get the video sorted out, I mentioned earlier about the situation with the DNA meeting. And of course, you can get the video to play. But it's very interesting, and I was just discussing this with one of the members who are on that committee who were actually a part of that situation. I spoke with one of the representatives and also the person who recorded the actual event.
Right.
And it's very interesting. I've been watching Rinzia Kamalafi for a while, and the way she handles things, and I've been expecting more for a while now. She's very quiet on a number of issues that are relevant, and she doesn't expound on her plans on fixing the problems that are really plaguing this country.
Right.
Now, with that being said, I have two issues with her. The fact that when she was locked up for that alleged situation with the police, the police mentioning that her and the crew roughed them up during their demonstration and this and that.
Right.
And she reached out to a few other folks, Lincoln Bain being one of them. He came there, showed his support, he was present and whatnot. She then clicked watching the show afterwards, and she had a lot to say. But she had nothing of relevance to what's happening with this country. It seemed as though it was a bunch of smoke and mirrors. It seemed as though it was something to get her relevance, to get the spotlight on her. This situation didn't surprise me. I've been hearing a few things, and I don't listen to talk. I like proof. It's interesting that she went on the Harsha Block show, not knowing that the meeting was recorded. And she mentioned a few things, and they were bold-faced lies. She got caught with a slip onion. And she was more interested in damage control than speaking the truth.
Right.
And not knowing that Fame Thompson had recorded the whole situation.
Right.
They have lost a lot of credibility. As I have been led to believe that they are crumbling at the seams. I can't listen to anything else from the DNA party anymore. Their leader has shown herself to be less than competent. She has a problem with the truth, it seems, just like our current prime minister. And I have to go on record saying that they obviously cannot be trusted. That's what I'm getting from this whole situation and a few other situations combined. It's not in the farmer's best interest to take them seriously. That's all I have to say about that.
I am very saddened by the whole thing because
yes, it's disappointing actually.
Quite frankly, I think that so many people are just so disillusioned when it comes to the two major parties. This is just what it is. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. It is what it is. People are just disillusioned, I think, with both the major parties. And I think a lot of people are looking for a third option. I don't know if you've heard about, I don't know if you heard the show that I did yesterday with Benjamin Smith from Embassy International. If you didn't, you ought to go and check that show out.
I'm going to look at it.
People are just tired, man. People are tired. And a lot of these young people really don't have no allegiance to nobody in terms of, how, the older generation, they feel that, they have to continue to support a particular party because that's what their family did, or these young people don't care about all of that. They listen, the internet right there for them to research anything, and they just ain't checking. They don't even want to know their history.
That's right.
Much less don't know. Right. They just don't care. Right?
That's true.
So you come to them with all of this talk about what you did in the past and how, their thing is, what have you done for me lately? They really don't care Marisha, I'm working on it. I'm trying to get on my phone and can't get on my phone. They really don't care about all of that. They really don't care. And so you've got a whole generation of young people who really just have no kind of allegiance to any of these parties.
That's true.
And they are the majority of voters who will be participating in this next election. I have spoken to several millennials who have said point blank, we ain't going with none of them two former parties because as far as they're concerned, they have nothing for them in terms of innovation and a future that they are interested in being a part of.
Exactly. I agree thoroughly.
The sad thing is, though, that people are struggling to find a viable third option. I'm just going to put it out there. You have some that are making traction.
Well, can I say something, Michelle?
Go ahead.
Okay. The business that I'm in, one of the things I do some delivery and whatnot. And I'm in basically all spots of this island. From behind the gate, like the gate, out east, over the bridge, to the south, everywhere. The nice spots are the good spots. And the young folks that I've come in contact with, they are saying pretty much what you've been saying before. They're not old enough to remember, PLP history and whatnot.
Nor do they care to find it out. They ain't old enough to know, and they don't care to find it out.
Right. However, we've come very, very, very far from the Pinnan era. What we have now is watered down garbage in comparison, but we all know that. But that's not the point here. The point here is that this is the information age. This is an era, this is the future, where the rest of the world is light years beyond what we are now in every aspect. Commerce, education, everything. Okay? And here we are stuck in the Stone Ages because of incompetent governance. Okay? And visionless leaders. Now, so far, and I'm saying this as unbiased as possible, so far, a lot of the youngsters are watching that same Lincoln Bean.
I know.
The things he's been saying and his representatives, they're talking about the future and moving the country forward from where it really was, or where it shouldn't be. Sorry, I'm hearing a lot of youngsters talking about Lincoln Bean and the Coalition of Independence. I would even lie to you, Michelle.
Well, one of the things that Ben Smith said on the show yesterday is that in this next election, we're going to see way more than 2 or even 3 parties represented in the House of Assembly. That there will be quite a few of these parties that will get at least one seat at the table, one seat within the House of Assembly. So it'll be very interesting if he is correct to see what that is going to look like.
What I'm hearing, Michelle, is going to be more than 1, 2 to 5 seats. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has their say and whatnot. And what I did? I said, let me look on Facebook. And I realized that all the polls in the major groups on Facebook, like Lincoln is, and the coalition is way in the lead. Every last poll in only the major groups. And I also noticed that it's been about 2 months now, and I've seen like people that just blast one party, one group, the coalition. I'm talking they blast non-stop, and I'm talking about they go extra low with some schoolyard antics. The only person they have stink in their mouth is the Coalition of Independence in Lincoln. I couldn't believe it.
Well,
I could not believe it.
It's alleged that some political parties actually hire people to do that.
That's what's going on. It's more than obvious.
We heard recordings. In case some of y'all are there who want to throw rock at me for saying it, but it is what it is. We heard the recordings about how much you can pay me and how much you getting paid to do this and the next. So we know it's happening. And it's kind of sad because my thing is if if you were doing your job, right,
Mhm.
as the governing party, you shouldn't have to hire people, allegedly, to smear anybody else. Your record should speak for itself. And so
It
if this is in case happening, if this is in fact happening, then it's that I see somebody trying to call in, but I can only do one call at a time. So please call back when we're done with this conversation. But
Mhm.
if it is in fact true that people are being paid to smear the opposition, and when I say opposition, I don't mean the official opposition, but anybody opposing the governing party, if those allegations are true, then that speaks volumes to me, because it says to me that you don't have sufficient confidence in your record.
That's right.
For you to have to stoop to that level, you don't have any
Mhm.
confidence in your record. And
That's
if you
true.
don't have any confidence in your record, why is that? Is that because
That's true.
you know in your mind you didn't do enough? You know,
That's true.
I just think it is so juvenile when you have to stoop to that. That's very I don't even want to say primary school.
That's why I said schoolyard antics, because
Yeah.
it's beyond immaturity. You know, I'll leave with this. I want to hear some other callers with their comments,
Mhm.
but I'll say this, and this is powerful. I heard someone mentioning this, just talking about this whole ordeal. You know, we've been going back and forth. We know this whole story, back and forth, seesaw. You know, pass the baton, nonstop.
Mhm.
And we know the report card of the PLP and the FNM. We understand what's going to happen as a result of choosing either or.
Mhm.
Okay? When Samantha Butler and Pilling, you know, they encourage the people to free their minds and change their mindset. The Bahamian people had to have the balls to understand why we need to change.
Mhm.
And they did. And Sullivan Oscar Pilling didn't have any political experience. He didn't know how to lead no kind of country. And look at what happened as a result of him being at the helm, and the quality of living for the humans after that.
Mhm.
We weren't used to that lifestyle. We were slaves before. We couldn't even open up a bank account. Okay?
Mhm.
And right now, like, we're in a similar spot. And going back and forth is like using the bathroom, doing number two, and trying to push it back in your body. Sorry to put it like that,
Yeah,
and
that's
sound
kinda
so
gross.
extreme. It's very gross, hey. But that's exactly how it is. If we going back and forth, you're gambling. You're not even gambling with your future and your kids' future. You know what to expect.
Hmm.
So therefore, if you don't take that sharp left or that sharp right, and start going along the same lines of thinking and allowing yourself to be mentally conditioned and still getting the sour end of the stick, and knowing you're going to get the sour end of the stick, then, you know, we really have no excuse. We shouldn't complain.
Hmm.
We really shouldn't complain, Michelle.
I hear
That's
you.
all I really had to
I
say.
hear you. Well,
Okay.
thank you so much for calling.
All right.
All right. Whoever that was who kept trying to call, now is the time. 828-3543 is the number to call. 828-3543 is the number to call. Keep in mind, folks, that we only do one call at a time. So if you hear me talking to somebody on the phone, then that don't make no sense to call at that time, because I can't take your call. I'm only talking to one person at a time. So for the number that kept calling, trying to get through, the number to call now, 828-3543 is the number to call. 828-3543 is the number to call. Okay, so Marisha, we ready for these clips yet? No way. Okay, still working on it. All right. So, you know, I think the fact that there are so many additional parties vying is a sign of a good sign for democracy, but it's a bad sign for leadership. And by that, I mean that I believe that there's so many people coming forward now because they are not impressed with the leadership that they see, and they figure, well, if they could do it, I know I could do a better job than this. So anyway, we have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hey, good. Miss Malcolm, how are you doing?
Great. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. This is Lamont Nixon from the Democratic National Alliance.
Hi.
I just want to respond because I don't think people understand of what actually happened, because I heard a caller just called you a few minutes ago, calling Madam a bold-faced liar.
Mm-hmm.
So my response is just to give you a quick account of what happened, just in case people, so that they could get a clear understanding of what went down.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And I was one of the observers that day. So I was there, and so therefore I could give an account, I could give the truth, not just speculation.
Mm.
Okay? So, are you still there?
Yes, listening.
Yeah. So, like I said, I was one of the observers. You had all of this stemmed from the results of the deputy. Basically, yeah, all of this stems from the results of the deputies. I can't remember what his name. Yeah. But the thing is, once we were doing the election, all this stemmed from the deputy election. Once we were doing the election, the election was actually really close. It was 20 to 21. And some of the people in there, they were not happy with the results. So it was obvious that someone was trying to manipulate what was going on. But people voted what they felt. So therefore you had accusations based on people who weren't supposed to vote actually voted, and that was not the case. Because like I say, I was an observer. I was there, so I saw everybody who voted, they were financial. So after everything was said and done, they called the results. There were certain people who were not happy with the results. Obviously, they didn't even congratulate the new deputy, which was Stephen Nesbitt, and they just walked right out of anger, because it's obvious based on, if I could describe the climate, it's obvious that they were visibly angry that what they wanted to happen did not happen. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, they started to they were very disgruntled. So therefore, they started sending messages through WhatsApp stating that certain things were inconsistent with the election. So therefore, we called an emergency meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the emergency meeting was for them to express their views based on the things, based on their complaints. And what happened is so everybody put down what they were doing. We went to the emergency meeting, waiting for those who had complaints to show up. So it took, we went there. It took them. So we as soon as we went there, we realized that those people, they didn't show up. All right, the meeting was called because of them, and they did not show up.
Mm-hmm.
So we called them. They wanted to Zoom, and we were like, no, everybody sacrificed their time. You need to come in. Now, keep in mind, the results were 20 to 21. So basically half of the room was in favor of Mr. Smith, because Mr. Smith was the other candidate vying to be deputy leader. So it wasn't nothing. Nobody was angry at anybody. We just wanted to hear your concerns so that we can iron out everything. So now, an hour later, every week as we're waiting, we're saying, guess what, the meeting is about your concerns. Please come in. So they decided to come an hour later. It took them probably about 10 minutes to come. So, and even before they came, everybody, protocol is established within the meeting. So if someone's talking, you allow them to talk, you allow them to speak their mind, and then so on and so forth. So we're sitting down. Someone was talking. Fraser was talking, and he was laying out his concerns. And after Fraser, while Fraser was talking, Mr. Smith came in and he sat down while Mr. Fraser was talking. And then after Mr. Fraser was talking, Mr. Gomalata was talking. And everybody, like I said, was just voicing their concerns. And while Mr. Gomalata was talking, Mr. Thompson came in the room. And, and so he came in the room, he sat down, and as he came in the room, it was almost like it was on cue as to where, and you hear the audio out there, so you know exactly what I'm saying is true. It's almost on cue. As he came in the room, Mr. Smith, Boykin Smith came, got up while Mr. Komalafe was talking and went in the front of the room. Now, like I say, protocol is established. You know that's one thing that you don't do. I mean, if you're going to do anything, you have to be professional. At least let the person finish speaking first before you get up and disrupt. So therefore, he's trying to he's basically trying to well, anyways, Ray, as he disrupted the meeting, at least disrupted Mr. Komalafe, everybody was like, protocol is in place. You can't do that. So therefore, Mr. Thompson shouted out that he has a right to speak.
But you see, caller, I don't want to use the whole show just going over what went down in the meeting. But here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. All of this causes people to say, I cannot put the responsibility of an entire country into the hands of an organization that can't manage its own affairs. And this only goes back to what I was saying before, that people are tired, I believe, of the FNM and the PLP, but they look at the other options out there and they're asking, do these people have what it takes to run a whole country? And that is the dilemma of where we find ourselves. What you just described, semantics. The bottom line is this. If that party is what appears to be from the outside looking in, imploding, and I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying that's how it appears, because perception is everything, right? So as somebody looking from the outside in, it looks like the party is imploding. How then can I turn around and be comfortable putting my trust in this very party to run an entire nation, you understand what I'm saying?
I understand where you're coming from, but you have to look at it from this aspect. The party, for one, I can assure you that the party is not imploding, and two, you're basing it off of two people being disruptive. That's it. Everybody else was in agreement. So the party is not imploding. That's the image that they want to give off.
Right. And again, I'm not saying that it is, but you have to. I'm not saying that it is, but you have to acknowledge that perception is more powerful than reality, especially in politics. Perception is everything. So you guys need to figure out how to clean up that image, because people walked away, or I shouldn't say walked away, because we all weren't in that meeting. And I gave you the opportunity to explain what happened and everything. Fine. But the point is, people looking from the outside in are saying, now, hold on now. They won't run my country? And I understand what you're saying about two people being disruptive, but it's got to be a way to manage that better than what went down.
I like I say, I understand where you're coming from, but and I'm not going to cast it off on other parties, but every organization, even churches, have disagreements. And the only issue is that this disagreement came out into the public. And now we are being judged much more harshly, I believe, just based on these two guys' accounts. And you guys are not considering the spread and tears that every other individual within the DNA party put in there. So just to say, just to judge us and say that, oh, we don't think that you are able to run the country or whatever. As far as I'm concerned, I believe that we handled the matter the best way possible given the circumstances, because it seemed like they had these two had an agenda.
Well, you know what I believe? I believe that most major parties in this country, and some of the minor ones, all the minor ones, really, y'all don't understand the power of good PR. You have, when you look at politics in the United States, for instance, they hire people just to handle PR for their organization, just to make sure that the right image is put out there, and to be able to counteract anything that pops up that goes against that image. The problem here in the Bahamas is, for the most part, people don't have no respect for that skill, because that's a skill. That's people. Anybody think they could just get up and do that? I agree. And so you got this problem. You figure, okay, we can handle this the best way we can. When really you should have hired a professional to help navigate you through that. They have people who do that. But there's such little respect put on those people who have that skill that y'all think, and when I say y'all, I don't mean you specifically, the DNA, but I'm talking about, like I said, all parties, have no respect for that. Now, there's at least one organization that I know, and I'm not going into calling names, that I understand is paying somebody locally $2 million to handle their PR. I don't know if they chose the right person to do so, especially when you see what's all going down. I really am not impressed with what I see in terms of their PR.
Right.
But I just think that's the problem, that y'all think that y'all can just, wing it. And nowadays, especially with the power of social media, it's different than it was back in the day. Now, you've got social media to contend with, which is more powerful, I dare say, than traditional media in terms of spreading information, whether true or not. So you got to work on your image. And I hear what you're saying in terms of what went down and all that kind of stuff. That don't change the perception. And what you got to realize is perception is more powerful than reality when it comes to things like politics. It ain't about what really happened. It's about what people perceive to have happened. So if you got two people who being disruptive, and you allow that to come to the place where it's come to, where people now questioning your whole organization, you failed. Because you should have had a better plan in place to deal with this kind of thing. So that's my little 5 cents on the matter.
Well, I respect that, but as in terms of we fail, I don't think we fail, because everybody has freedom of speech, So, but I understand your point as to where you would have expected us to come out and basically speak on it right away. But the thing is, it's like Madam Leader has already spoken on it, and the thing is, it's like this whole back and forth just needs to die out, because it's she already spoken on it. We've already told the truth. Everybody knows exactly what happened. And I understand, yes, we need to clear up the perception, because of course these two are now tarnishing the perception of the party. But I want everybody to know out there under the sound of my voice that is not the case. That we are not who they are trying to or the perception that they're putting out there.
Mm-hmm.
The DNA is not that party. You understand? You have to understand that you are getting something from disgruntled people who were in the party.
I get it.
And of course, they will try their best.
I get it.
So I'm asking people to use their discernment before listening to anything that comes from those people.
Right. I understand. I really do understand. Somebody posted a comment that says, just trying to get it to come up. Man, every time I try to open something, y'all, it freezes. It came up? Okay, it says, Michelle, let's be real. History shows us that it isn't the first political party to go through this. Yeah, I'm not saying that it is. But I do believe that political parties in this country make the mistake of thinking that they could just wing it and not hire professionals to handle their image. And that is a big mistake, especially now in this age of social media. Y'all need to hire some professionals. That's all I'm saying. But that's just my little opinion. But I thank you for calling, though, and you're clearing it up. Thank you so much for calling. All right, so I think my producers have all of the clips now. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to hopefully be able to get to our clips without the challenges that we have had. So stay with us. This is GPS. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Looking for an extraordinary junior high school with caring, qualified staff and affordable tuition? Then come visit us at Elite School of Excellence, an affiliate of First Step Academy. ABECA-focused and Ministry of Education approved, we foster discipline, integrity, and wisdom while molding our students for success. Call us at 341-8846 or stop by First Step Academy schools on Fire Trail and Soldy Roads for more information.
At the Shirley Street Plaza, you'll find Le Petit Gourmet, a small cafe that's big on flavor. Handcrafted delights made with love will not only please your palate, but feed your soul. Call us at 394-1251. 8 to 12 minutes is all it takes for a burglar to rob your home or business. Security Systems International provides professional and affordable solutions for both. Call 396-5000 for your customized quote. Gwen's Alterations provides professional services for all your tailoring needs, including face masks to keep you safe and in style. A stitch in time saves 9. So call us today at 393-6227.
Escape from the city life to Bacon Air Beach Resort in Pirateswell, Mayaguana. Relax in one of 16 air-conditioned rooms just steps away from the ocean. Enjoy scrumptious dishes in our waterfront dining room. Sip on a tropical cocktail, or if you must, stay connected with wireless internet. Nestled on one of the most beautiful beaches in the Bahamas, Bacon Air Beach Resort offers a unique vacation experience. For reservations, call 339-3726 or 463-0182.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting sugar-free berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Easy Car Sales, home of the electric vehicle. Visit easy242.com and free yourself from gas. Glory 93.9 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. It's an open line show today, TGIF. And our last two callers opened a can of worms that is getting quite a reaction from our Facebook viewers. Now, I can try to bring up some of these comments, and I just hope my laptop cooperates with me because she's been tripping out all day. Okay, so this comment is from Luisa. Luisa says, the DNA is not imploding. That was child's play compared to what goes on in other parties. It was also a private meeting being recorded with the traitor Fain trying to rile up a fight with the sole purpose of giving the recording to Lincoln Bain as ammunition to annihilate the DNA. Louisa further says, MLK, myself, and many others have explained ad nauseum the reality of the situation. Sadly, Bahamians in general love juicy gossip fights, etc., and don't really listen before they form foregone conclusions. Let's see. Kenley says, PR cannot stop a person or persons from doing what was done. I'm not fooled by that cheap trick. I'm not saying it could have stopped what was done, but it could have handled it better the way that it was. If you all ever used to watch, what was the name of that show with Olivia Pope? Scandal. Her job wasn't to stop what was done. Her job was to make sure that the perception of what was done was influenced by her work. So she couldn't stop. Her work began after the scandal happened. Then she fixed it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that PR could have stopped what happened, but better PR could have fixed the perception of what happened. Pauline says, Michelle has a great point. Wishing that it will go away is not the solution. You needed to have started a concerted campaign to respond to and address the conflict. Gifted says, presentation and perception is everything. Now, this one is interesting from Linda. Linda says, Michelle need to take several seats and stop bashing the woman leader. Linda,
comprehension wasn't your number one subject in school, hey? When did I ever bash Orinthia Gomalafi? Y'all need to learn to listen with your ears, man. Come on. I never bashed her. Pauline says that this topic is still making the rounds in the mainstream and social media, suggests that the messaging from the party has not been clear and effective. And Kevin says, let me see if I can get it to open up. Let me close this one out first. Okay, so Kevin says, see why this country don't have good criticism. See why this country don't move. Good criticism makes you better. These parties don't like good critique. Ah, boy. Listen, bottom line is, Linda says, the topic make rounds because of people like me. Okay, Linda. God be with you. Since you think that I have something to do with that. Let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, I tell the last two callers to call to talk about that, Marisha. I tell them call. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. I'm going to keep this very short and very sweet. I'm not going to be long-winded at all. Okay, I heard the sentiments of the last caller and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the comment that you read off just a few seconds ago about criticism.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that were mentioned under a post on Facebook was the fact that, you admit that, certain things happened and you're dealing with the situation and you move on. All the long song and dance made the situation seem to be diabolical. And people started to, wonder what really happened. You see, because Ms. Komalapi, her interview, she came and said what she had to say, and didn't realize that the whole meeting was taped, and so she made herself look very foolish. This is what happened. I know exactly who it was who was doing the talking. The script, I know exactly who the characters were who were doing the talking. Okay, and what happened is Ms. Komalafi put her foot in her mouth. That's all it was. She just got caught. And there's no way anybody on the DNA can get around that fact. It is what it is. You see, all you do, you try to cut and you move on. Instead of all this back and forth and this defense and this and that, you make yourself look extra guilty, man. That's what children do. They try to cover a lie with another lie. Okay? You admit that you was wrong and you move on. The former deputy leader, his phone got broken up. He's roughed up. All right? Phineas Thompson, he was flunked against the wall. One of the representatives had to come and defend him. All right? I spoke with representatives, DNA representatives who were there, who I've known for some time now. So whatever the young man was talking about is irrelevant. Okay? All you are is trying to make yourself look good because you got caught with pie in your face. Okay? This is the real world. We're not kids anymore. All right? So the suggestion you made about the PR, having a PR team, that's imperative for a party because public perception is key if you want to win an election. It's that plain and simple. That's all I have to say.
All right. Thank you so much for calling.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen, let's move on from this because people getting a little hotter than the caller. I just think y'all need to find an Olivia Pope. All y'all. Not just the DNA. But all of them. And Linda, God be with you, my love. You'll be just all right. Okay, so I wanted, and the thing is, I wasn't even planning to talk about the DNA. That wasn't even on my list of things to talk about today. The callers are the ones who sort of guide this show on a Friday. They're the ones who, I give them an opportunity to talk about whatever they want to talk about. And so the callers decided that that's what they wanted to talk about. So that's what we talked about. So, Linda, I don't know if you're new to GPS and you don't know how this go. Maybe you are. But yeah, you'll be all right. God bless you, my child. All right. So let us go to this clip with the competent authority. saying that there's two pandemics. Well, if you get the vaccine, you ain't no longer in the pandemic. You have that clip ready, right, Marisha? Okay, let's go to clip number 1.
We're in two pandemics. The vaccinated individuals are now out of the pandemic. The pandemic is finished for the vaccinated individual. The non-vaccinated individuals are still in the pandemic. And therefore, it's essential for us to aggressively, of which we're doing, to aggressively pursue vaccines so that we can vaccinate our populace as quickly and efficiently as possible so that they too would move into the vaccinated portion, thus the non-pandemic.
So according to Dr. Menace, because, a lot of people like to say, well, thank God we got a doctor at the helm during this pandemic. So according to Dr. Menace, although we did say earlier in the week that, he has, it seems like, several different personalities. So you got the doctor, you got the competent authority, you got the prime minister, and you got to figure out which one speaking from which day to the next. So that statement just now, I hope and pray that wasn't the doctor speaking, because the doctor in him should know better. The doctor in him should know that just because you're vaccinated, the pandemic isn't over for you. So that couldn't have been the doctor speaking. I don't think it was the prime minister speaking. And I pray to God it wasn't the competent authority, because that would show him to be extremely incompetent. Now, where did he get that idea from? Let's go to clip number 2.
There's a clear message that is coming through. This is becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
A pandemic of the unvaccinated. That's what the director of the CDC is now calling the current state of the pandemic in America as the nation sees a surge of coronavirus cases in all 50 states for the first time since January.
COVID misinformation. What's your message to platforms like Facebook?
They're killing people. I mean, look, the only pandemic we have is among the unvaccinated.
Okay. So the CDC rep comes out and says the only pandemic is among the unvaccinated. And then Biden repeats it, speaking specifically to what is going on in the United States. So, our prime minister, competent authority, Dr. Menace, I know which one, decided to not only repeat that, but he took it a step further. It wasn't enough for him to say, this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated, which, scientifically is garbage. And the CDC knows that that's garbage, scientifically. But science was thrown out the window a long time ago with this pandemic, I dare say. But not only does he decide to not just repeat it, he decides to take it a step further. He decides to say, if you are vaccinated, the pandemic is over for you. Do you know how dangerous a statement that is? Because according to science, even if you receive a vaccine, you can still contract COVID. You can still pass it on. That's according to science, right? Science says that the only thing that the vaccine does is it stops you from becoming what they call clinically ill. In other words, you become so ill that you have to be hospitalized. So it should lessen the numbers of people who become critically ill in need of hospitalization. But it doesn't stop you from contracting, and it doesn't stop you from spreading. And as we have seen from the breakthrough cases, in some cases it don't stop you from becoming clinically ill either, because there have been breakthrough cases with people who have been fully vaccinated who come down with full-blown COVID. So what in the world is this man talking about? The doctor ought to know better. So I assume that wasn't the doctor talking. The prime minister should have some care for his people. So I'm assuming that wasn't the prime minister talking. That leaves us with the competent authority. And if that was the competent authority, that would make the competent authority very incompetent to make such a foolish statement that if you have been vaccinated, the pandemic is over for you. Now, here's the thing. I did a show a couple of Wednesdays back, about 6 or 7 Wednesdays back, with a gentleman by the name of Gert van den Bosch. Gert van den Bosch is a virologist who has worked for Gavi, the Gates Foundation, several different companies that create vaccines. He has helped to develop vaccines. So you cannot call him an anti-vaxxer. Okay, this man helps to develop vaccines. He has been sounding the alarm for months that it is a mistake to do mass vaccination in the midst of a pandemic, because what happens is you are now going to have vaccinated people who aren't going to be showing that they have contracted it, so won't know that they are spreading it. But they will be contracting and spreading this virus to the point where you have all of this, all of these unvaccinated people carrying on, as the competent authority told them to do. And now you are creating the perfect breeding ground for, guess what? Variants of the virus. What are we hearing now? The Delta variant, the Lambda variant, the this variant, the next variant. We are now seeing countries that have the majority of their population vaccinated, and yet the numbers are spiraling of COVID cases. Why? Because of exactly what Dr. Van den Bosch was warning about. That when you mass vaccinate in the midst of a pandemic, you are creating the perfect breeding ground for variants of this virus to develop. But what does our competent authority say? Once you take the vaccine, the pandemic is over for you. Carry on. This man can't be serious. And if he is serious, I got to be careful what I say. Because if he seriously believed what he said, he need to ring that bell fast. He need to move. He need to go. If he seriously believed what he said. Because that would show the degree of incompetence that he has. And if he didn't believe what he said, but he only said it for political advantage, that's even worse. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Michelle, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay. There's a chart that I have with all the list of all the Caribbean countries and what percentage of the population is vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
Haiti is in last place. The Bahamas actually is in third, with barely 15% of our population vaccinated. The way Prime Minister is acting, it seems as if he has an agenda why he wants the humans to be vaccinated so badly.
He does have an agenda. It's all about holding on to his political power. I just did a show this week with C. Alan Johnson talking about exactly this. Check it out.
I will check it out.
Please
sure.
do.
I will.
Do.
But this it seems so strange because like I mentioned probably about a month and a half, 2 months ago on your show when they called in. The European Union of Nations, they put a hold on the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine when they had some people who had some serious side effects and some deaths. As soon as they released that information, the next day, AZ vaccine was brought on the plane. And big picture headline news, he has his hands on the boxes and he said, oh, the vaccine will reach and it's safe. And I'm wondering, what's going on in his head? As a doctor, why would you didn't even look in the box yet, I'm wondering if he has something to gain monetarily, even because it's too sinister.
It ain't money.
The
it's
fact
power.
that
It's power. He's trying to hold on to power.
I don't understand it.
He's
I
trying
don't
to
understand
hold
how
on to
can you
power. The
hold.
man doing what he needs to do to hold on to power.
But what is vaccinating the populace has to do with power?
Well, let me
That's
explain.
the big question mark.
You need to go watch that show with me and C. Allen this week because he breaks it down brilliantly. Okay? He now needs to be able to say that it's safe to open up open up so that he could justify going into an election. Because election, you got the campaigns, people going door to door, you got the big rallies, rah rah rah, pom pom. How are you gonna allow that to happen if you have been locking us down all along because you say that the spread is too much for us to move around? So now you had us on lockdown all this time, and so now you would have noticed months ago that they were saying that they expect us to reach herd immunity by August. He said it. Randall Red said it months ago. They was pushing August. Now, if you remember, initially they were saying that in order to get to herd immunity, everybody had to be vaccinated. That was the first talk. When they realized Bahamians wasn't on their run, then the next talk was, well, if you already contracted COVID, you have natural immunity. So we can include that in the numbers for the herd immunity. Mind, they wasn't saying that before. Right? So now all of a sudden, if you had COVID, you are included in the numbers of people who could make up this herd immunity. They are trying to find any means possible to get to the point where they can justify saying, we are done with the emergency order, because you can't call the election in the midst of an emergency order. So August was their set date to have the emergency order lifted, which we heard them say. So now now the numbers are out. 15% of your population has been vaccinated. That leaves 85.
Exactly.
So now you gotta find a way to justify how you open up for this election with 85% of your people not vaccinated.
Michelle, we are third in last place. In last place is Haiti. I had to look at the chart again. Actually, I'm going to send you it through WhatsApp. It's an accurate chart of who all has been vaccinated from us to Barbados, Curacao, whatever.
I saw it.
Okay? And we are third in last. So obviously there's been a lot of lying going on. I don't even look at the vaccines. I'm sure they have a wholesale pack of a bunch of vials right there that haven't been used yet. Because the humans.
I don't think so. I don't think so, because remember now, with this vaccine, you don't need just one shot, you need two. So
true.
So they run out of vaccine to the point where we got to be borrowing vaccine from our Caribbean neighbors. You could lend me some vaccine, please. Like when you go to your neighbor to borrow a cup of sugar. So on the one hand, he telling people, go get vaccine. And on the other hand, they ain't got enough to vaccinate everybody anyway. Like, make this make sense.
I'm wondering if he got me stammering now. Michelle, honestly, something got to work. I got to work fast, because I don't know if you know of the island nation, the northwestern tip of Africa, the Seychelles Islands. I think they're the most vaccinated country in the world.
And they started having outbreaks again, massive numbers.
They have a problem, Michelle. That's what I'll say.
So you can't
say. They have over 60% of the population is vaccinated. They are having a serious issue.
Yes, the majority of their people are vaccinated, and yet they're having a problem with COVID. So what does that tell you?
Exactly. You get a double pandemic when you get your second shot. Figure that one out. Even two pandemics. Or three.
Well, 3 or 4.
When you get your second shot.
Because according to the competent authority, we done got 2. So.
I need to get my calculator.
Oh my God. But exactly what Vanden Bosch was warning about is happening.
That's right.
They have created the perfect breeding ground for mutations. And now they can go through the whole Greek alphabet and have to start over again for the number of mutations of this virus that are going to be happening now, because they have done this and still pushing for it. It is ludicrous. And anybody with half a brain could figure out that this ain't working.
There's an international play going on right before our very eyes, and it's called Depopulation, the movie and the play.
Well, they can say it's a conspiracy theorist when you bring that up.
Anything against the truth, anything that is called the truth, what is the truth, is a conspiracy theory now. Just ask the people at Fox Checkers. Thanks
so much for calling, man.
You take it.
You know, if somebody had written all of what is happening in a book, and said that this is a true story, the publisher would say, "No, man, you need to call this a fictional story. This can't be a true story. This has to be put under the category of fiction, because ain't no way this could be a true story." But that's what we see. This ain't making no sense. But you bring that up, and you the conspiracy theorist, and you ain't no doctor, and I following science and ignoring the science. We're telling you this ain't making no sense. You gonna tell me you can't get sufficient vaccines in the country for your people? You can tell me that only the people who are unvaccinated are in the pandemic, but you can put them same vaccinated people in a cluster on a cruise ship to send them to the States to go get a vaccine, when you could easily just get the vaccine flown here. Why? Aren't you concerned that there will be people on that ship that have COVID and could possibly spread it amongst the others? That's not a concern for you as a doctor? Is anybody advising this man? Or is he just shooting from the hip? Whatever come to his mind, he run with. You have to ask that question, because it's like, what? I really got to be so careful what I say, y'all. I wondering, what is he dealing with? We got a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good day. God bless you, Michelle. How you doing today, my friend?
Hey, JT, what you saying?
Oh, the wonderful experiences of the Bahamas, eh? What a week.
Can't make it up.
Two things, that's for sure. Sitcoms can't even be, sometimes the Prime Minister makes me laugh. He makes me laugh sometimes. But, let me just say two things, and I'll touch briefly on the matter with the DNA, and then I'll move on to the Prime Minister. I'm a supporter of the DNA, and I'm a very committed and proud supporter of the DNA. I would never support anything wrong if the DNA is wrong and doing whatever they do. But Michelle, the one political party over the years that has been talking about issues relevant to we the Bahamian people since they first came out has been the DNA. Yes, they've had some distractions along the way over the past few months, and I'm encouraging the DNA to get back on track, to stay the course. But the DNA, to me, is the political organization right now that has a whole lot of good things in their cupboard, so to speak, that they have presented to the Bahamian people, and I'm encouraging them to continue to put out there to the Bahamian people. That's what I would say on that. But in regard to the Prime Minister, though, and his outlandish comment about there's no more pandemic for those who are vaccinated, it's like, well, Michelle, I'm vaccinated. Now, I prayed about that because I had a difficult time making that decision. God gave me the peace. That's the only reason why I went for it. Otherwise, I would not have done so. That being said, I was very troubled when I heard the Prime Minister make that statement. Michelle, how is it that if a vaccinated person can still catch COVID, and if a vaccinated person can still transmit COVID, how is there no pandemic, as it were, for those who are vaccinated? How is that, Michelle? I mean,
if you know, I know.
I mean, is Dr. Minnis that hungry for power, or that clueless as a leader, or has lost his professional consciousness as a physician to have said something so outlandish? He can't be that desperate for power, is he?
Yeah, that's how it appears to me.
I mean, Michelle, I'm convinced that he is desperate for power, but is really power all it is that matters to him, that he's going to make himself look so silly? See, let me give you a little 1, 2, 3 comparison. Not Dr. Christie. Prime Minister Ingram, when he was Prime Minister, and he had said the Bahamians need not apply when he had first talked about selling Patelco. That to me was one of the biggest, most stupid, arrogant, and insulting thing a Prime Minister could have ever said. Because those same Bahamian people who he was saying needed not apply was the same people who had the common sense, according to him. According to him, we didn't have the common sense and wisdom to run Patelco and to own it. We had the common sense to vote him in power. Number 2, Perry Gladstone Christie. When he went off to France in 2015, the fall of 2015, November, December, thereabouts, and told the whole world that the Bahamas has no natural resources. All because, I suppose, allegedly he wanted, not to deal at home with the issue of Aragonite and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But yet the same mouth that said the Bahamas has no natural resources is the same mouth who was on TV promoting the use or the benefit of the natural resources via solar energy. Okay, now here comes Dr. Menace telling you and me last year that the pandemic was a pandemic. And now telling you and me that the same COVID-19 that was a pandemic last year, now ain't no pandemic this year.
Yeah, it's pandemic this year for the people who ain't getting no vaccination.
But if it's a pandemic for some,
you straight,
it's a pandemic
JT,
for
you straight,
all.
you get the vaccine.
Michelle, if it's a pandemic for one, it's a pandemic for all. And if it ain't a pandemic for some, then it ain't a pandemic for none. It can't be both ways. When are leaders of this country are gonna stop being stupid? And Michelle,
No, JT, they ain't stupid. They ain't stupid. They think we stupid. They ain't stupid.
What are they, Michelle? Please.
They got plenty sense.
Michelle, see, and when I say stupid, I don't mean it disrespectfully, even though it may sound that way. What I'm trying to say is, Ingram told you and me, he implied that you and me ain't had sense to run Patelco.
And what did we do?
But we had sense to vote him in power.
But hold on. Before you go any further, when he made that statement, what did we as a collective do?
Now I know I raised hell about it. I ain't nobody the rest of the
I know what you want. What did we as a collective do?
Please remind me, Michelle, because I don't remember honestly.
You ain't remember because we ain't do nothing. My point is.
Oh Lord.
My point is.
I would have remembered.
He could afford to insult our intelligence and our abilities because he know we ain't gonna do or say nothing. So we sit back and we take it.
And you see the few
and we let them give away BTC. That was a giveaway.
Oh, that was more than a giveaway. That was a throwaway. Right?
So they aren't stupid. They're not stupid.
See, Michelle.
But they think we stupid.
Yeah, they really think the people that vote them in power are stupid. They really honestly do. Because you cannot tell me that a Mr. Hubert Alexander Ingram has confidence in the Bahamian people when it's only time to vote. But we ain't got no sense when it's time to own and control. Yeah, he really thinks the people are stupid. And Mr. Christie, don't think we understand what he was getting at when he went in France and made that very silly comment. Michelle, that was the first time in my life I felt embarrassed as a Bahamian when Mr. Christie made that comment, I used to be angry. I was angry with Mr. Ingram, but honestly, I felt embarrassed to be a Bahamian when I heard Mr. Christie make those. Michelle, the man using the solar energy, which is natural resources.
Well, how did you feel when the existing prime minister go on and tell the people it's the most corrupt nation in the world?
Well, I actually held my head in shame. I held my head in shame.
But he know why he say that. He know why he say that.
But Michelle, yet he didn't do anything to improve that image. As a matter of fact, he's done a lot to unfortunately reinforce that image.
Okay then, because I still waiting on the report for what happened at BPL. I still waiting for them to find the papers what gone missing in his office over What the thing name? What the thing name? Oban.
Oh yes, Oban. Yes.
I still waiting for them papers to show back up what gone missing in his office.
Yeah,
right?
but see the thing.
These people take us for fools, and you know why? Because we keep
giving them the reason to
ride us.
Yes, that's the see, my fellow Bahamians, Michelle made a good point. We see, yes, I am a supporter of the DNA, but whether it is another wholesome third option in terms of alternative party, my fellow Bahamians, we are worth more than the riding that the FNM and the PLP has been doing to us over the years. We are worth more than that. God has given us brains and wisdom and common sense. A lot of us are afraid to go against either of those parties because we feel as if we're going to be victimized. But if we don't put them in it, we're afraid of change too, because people, oh Lord, what they call it, the Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah,
you're so abused and so used to the abuse you get that you're afraid to go to something better.
You
because
rather
you're
put up
used.
with the abuse than face the unknown.
But my brother and sister, if you want a change, you gotta make the change whether you're afraid to do it or not. The abuse ain't gonna stop unless you remove yourself from the abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, Ingram, Christie, and Dr. Menace have all, as in those examples I give, shown you and me as a people how that they have been riding us like donkeys. And I ain't no donkey. God didn't born me with 4 feet, only 2. God didn't born none of you out there with 4 feet, my brother and sister, only 2. So please let us show in this upcoming election, whether it's called this year or next year. And oh, by the way, Dr. Minister needs to stop lying to himself, you know. He doesn't know when he can call the election, but yet he don't admit it. That's called intellectual dishonesty. He knows when he's going to call it, and he's denying it by not admitting to it. Michelle, I hate political liarship. Yes, I put it exactly, liarship. Because the ship of state right now that we have going on called the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is being promoted, is being led by people who have been practicing deception and lies. And you and I have suffered. I want to know where all of the VAT money gone? When are you and I going to get answers to that?
They answered that. They said that it wasn't really stolen after all. It was all accounted for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but that was supposed to go. No, see, Michelle, VAT was supposed to go on to pay off our national debt.
I understand.
That's how it was promoted. As long as it didn't go to pay off the debt, it didn't go where it was supposed to go. So where did it go? And we need to find out who got it. And we as a people have got to make them pay, Michelle. My God, they put taxes on you and me where now we can't hardly eat and feed ourselves because of that now. And we are supposed to accept the crap that they're telling us about. They don't know, or they're giving us some kind of lame excuse as to where that money gone when we bought the PR that it was supposed to been to pay off the debt.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, so much more to say, but I can let you go.
Because I got to take a break. And we can talk about the election situation on the other side of the break.
And by the way, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
God bless you, dear.
All right. Thank you so much for calling, JT. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will have more on this TGIF open line show, talking about the week that was. And what a week it was. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy, with Mailboat's U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons.
With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks.
We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun. And by BMP Liquidators. High quality furniture and home goods at very reasonable prices.
TGIF for Open Line Show. I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I want to read a comment. I find this very interesting. This one is from Doris. Doris says, Elton, we all have a side and we are all getting paid from one thing or another. Those who don't like PM Minutes as leader would love Michelle. The way she speaks of his mistakes or oversights is almost with personal dislike. We have to respect each other no matter our beliefs. Even God is more forgiving. I am not party motivated. I don't know who I am voting for, but I am. Well, here's the thing, Doris. I call a spade a spade. I let the chips fall where they may. I'm an equal opportunity offender. I don't care if you use PLP, FNM, DNA, Coalition of Independents. I don't care. I hear people say all the time, well, why the media only pointing out the wrong that they do or whatever? Like they get angry at the media for doing their job. It ain't my job
to make nobody look good. It ain't my job to soften the blow for them. It's my job to call a spade as I see it. Now, that being said, this is an opinion show. This is an opinion show. And I have a little bit more leeway in an opinion show to give my opinion. I'm not saying you have to agree with it or disagree with it, but this is just my opinion. But quite frankly, I'm not alone in criticizing Menace. Just go read Candia's her piece this past Wednesday in the paper. She going to town, right? So it is what it is. Some people will agree with me, some people won't. But it is not my job to sugarcoat anything for anybody. And I think that's another thing another mistake that politicians in this country make. You always want to get offended when the media do their job. Like it's our job to make you look good. That's not how this rolls. That's why you need an Olivia Pope. And stop looking to us to do your job, which is to ensure that your image is put right before everybody. That ain't my job. My job is to call it as I see it. And that's what I'm doing. I don't have a problem criticizing none. So don't try to make it seem like, oh, I got a personal thing against Menace. No, please. Dr. Menace is my former doctor. He's my former gynecologist. And he's very good at that. My personal opinion is he's not so good at being a competent authority as he was being a gynecologist. But that's just my opinion. It is what it is. As Gifted said. So come on, man. I ain't got nothing personal against the man. I just think he's doing, in many instances, a lousy job. And I get very offended when he insults my intelligence by trying to shove you-know-what down my throat and expecting me to call it chocolate. No, I'm not going to call it chocolate. It is what it is. I get very offended when people act like I'm stupid and I can't think for myself. And many of the things that he says and does insults my intelligence. Now, you may not see it that way, and that is your right. That's how I see it. And I just happen to be the one sitting in this seat. So I am allowed to give my opinion on an opinion show. So yeah. Jamila says, corruption is the example that has been set for the people. So this is how the people behave. Instead of getting along with each other, we try to get over on each other too much of the time. Where's the love, Bahamas? Child, one thing that Doris said is true. God is more merciful than man. Thank God for his mercy. All right. I want to play this clip with the Prime Minister. And in this clip, he's wearing the hat of Prime Minister, talking about all of this speculation surrounding whether or not there will be an early election. That would be clip number 4. Let's go to that clip.
The leader of opposition is not the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister makes those decisions, not him.
The nation's leader cavalier in his response to speculation by the opposition that he will soon pull the trigger and announce an early election this week.
I didn't say we will have an election now,
On Sunday, opposition leader Philip Davis revealed that he's gotten word that ballot boxes have arrived in the Family Islands and that embassies abroad have been put on notice. All signs, he says, that Dr. Hubert Minnis will soon ring the bell.
Well, first of all, only the Prime Minister makes such a decision. The PLP, unfortunately, is always in denial, and they've demonstrated that. In 1992, when the FNM won the government, they were in denial and saying that it's only temporary. They demonstrated that again in 2007 when they refused to accept defeat. So I'm not surprised with the statement made by the leader of the opposition.
However, Davis isn't the only one turning the rumor mill. House Speaker Housen Moutri also predicts that Parliament may be dissolved as early as Tuesday, with an election date allegedly set for August 17th. The opposition leader believes difficulties hitting budget projections may be leading the Prime Minister to call a snap election. Davis is also suggesting that Dr. Minnis plans to increase taxes should the FNM be elected to office again.
There's no such thing. We will increase no such thing. We presented our budget already. We presented the financial program, the fiscal policies, and I'm happy to announce that the fiscal policies are working and we are ahead of our revenue projections.
More than 12,000 new voters have been added to the register since 2017. And with talk of an early election brewing, Dr. Minnis has this message for young and first-time voters.
The economy and their country is in the right path. They can see the economy is growing. They can see that we are opening doors for them. They know they are well, right-thinking individuals, they are intelligent individuals, and they know and recognize that the PLP and Davis are party and politicians of the past. Let's move to the future.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Wow. You know, the Prime Minister's right in certain areas. He says about the economy, roaring back. It is for some. Some it was never bad. Some people made some real good money during this pandemic and all of the lockdowns. The majority of Bahamians, however, did not. The majority of Bahamians caught hell during this pandemic. And many of them still are. And I dare say that maybe he's thinking futuristically, but in this Bahamas that we live in today, it doesn't look to me like what he just described in that clip. Don't forget now, this is the same Prime Minister who earlier in the month advised people to go and register as quickly as possible. And we've seen all of the photos and videos of the paraphernalia and everything being in place. And, so people, all I could tell you is if you haven't done so already, please go and register to vote if you intend to participate in this next election. All right. Whether it's in another couple of weeks or next year, go now. Don't wait. Don't take the chance. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, Michelle is the most I think I've called into your show. But I'll say this. I just tuned back into the show. I don't know if you had the clip where he was asked about the BPL situation, and he cut the reporter off and told him no, we ain't talking over the hill today. I don't know if you saw that clip earlier in the week.
Did not.
Okay, well, one of the reporter he saw him a shadow blow, and just at the duck, he asked him about the BPL situation. He dodged that and read the reporter right up and said, "Stick to strip." Says, "I ain't come to talk about that today." And he read him up. I mean, it was very, very, very insulting. I think he may find that clip on, let's see, cable travel news, I believe. I'm not sure. I can't say for certainty, but I've seen it browsing on Facebook. So he obviously has a toilet of the truth, or he's I don't know. He in reality escapes him probably because what he said in that clip that you showed couldn't be further from the truth. I'm at a point where I'm almost tired of talking about Minnis because we know exactly what he is all about. He has to go, and it's imperative on everybody to get registered.
Please.
This election is going to be very crucial.
Critical. It is critical
because they've shown us we've been tired of the blood-sucking lawyers. And so you say, they just try. The doctor, even I was optimistic, being a doctor is a calling, like being a teacher. You have to care about your fellow man. You're in service of your fellow man. I said, you know what, we might have a chance this time. Even though, what's her name, was saying some things about him, I say, what, still, give him a try. He has doctor in front of his name.
Right.
And he turned out to be the worst one. So the Damon people are standstill, and, almost all the optimism is spent up because, we tried it this way, we tried it that way, and still nothing. seems like the parties are just one the same. Just going back and forth, up and down at the seesaw. Both parties, the senior members of the parties, they have business interests together. They sit down have cocktails and smoke cigars together. This is nothing new. Cassius Stewart, his clip went super viral. Both parties are saying people are tired of the red and tired of yellow. The red and yellow make purple. I don't know where that came from, but everyone got the point, even though he got his colors mixed up. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of information has surfaced about both parties, and because of social media, of course, information being dispersed so freely, we have understood a lot of fundamental points about how deeply the corruption is seeped into our political system. Like I said, you gotta thank fellas like the late TGIF, may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Lincoln Bain and a number of others. We have a responsibility upon ourselves that we want to do better. We really want to do better. We should stop complaining and actually put foot to action and start stepping. We complain way too much. We complain way too much. We like the poor cake barker in the back of the house, making a bunch of noise and not addressing the problem in front of the eye.
Well, I know one thing. We out of time, but this next election coming up, we better go to those polls, pray it up, and ask
Michelle,
God
if we don't
guide us and as to what to do, because this is a very critical election, very critical.
Michelle, if we don't do something now, they're going to put certain blocks in place to make sure there's no threat of the grip of power. I guarantee you that. You take care of yourself.
Yeah, I can leave that one right there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for calling, eh?
All right.
Wow. We are out of time, y'all. It's 1:00. This was an interesting show today. People get a little hot under the collar today. I apologize if you felt offended by anything that I said, but it is what it is. I gotta be me. That's just who I am, I call a spade a spade. I call it as I see it. You ain't necessarily gonna agree with me all the time. I ain't agree with you all the time. We have to agree to disagree. That's the way the world goes round. Listen, I hope you guys have a safe, wonderful weekend. Next week is going to have some great shows in the lineup for next week. So please make sure you tune in for all of them. We're going to have some great guests for you next week. So until then, I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a good weekend and be safe, everybody.